Welcome to Programming KT. Today in this tutorial I am trying to explaining about some key points about inheritance in Java. So for that I already created some points. Let me explain about each one. So first one is inheritance is not applicable for constructors. So parent class constructor that can't be inherited in child class. So that is the first point you need to remember. But anyway, we can invoke parent class constructor in child class constructor by using superoff, but inheritance is not applicable for constructors. Second one is private members are not inherited. Means either it may be private variable or a private method, inheritance is not applicable. So let me show you that. So here I have class A and class B. So IJM1 by default available in child class. Now let me show you first positive scenario and negative scenario. So I am trying to create object for child class. So with the child class object reference, I can call parent class methods also. Parent class methods and moreover that variables also I can access. So M1 is the anyway I think here I overridden already. In class B M1 method is already overridden. Let me try to remove that. Now if I can access B dot, so M1 method. I mean M1 method is from parent class. Now I am trying to access child class object reference parent class method, and moreover that let me try to access variable also. So b dot j. Now let me try to run the code. Code. So I am getting the m1 method from a class and moreover that variable j. So if I can make that m1 method in a class, parent class as private and variable also private. So inheritance is not applicable for private methods and private variables. So I will get compilation error like, so not visible in child class. Like if you can mouse over that on M1 method at the time of calling, so method M1 from type A is not visible because of private access modifier. Same for variable also. So field A, J variable inside class A is not visible. That is the one point you need to remember. Private methods, private variables inheritance is not applicable. Now cyclic inheritance is not permitted in Java. So third point is cyclic inheritance is not permitted in Java means, so class B extends class A. So again class A extends class B. This is not possible. So this is called cyclic inheritance that is not possible in Java. Not allowed. And next point is object class is the base class of all classes in Java. Either it may be directly or indirectly. So object class is the root class. And the next point is type reference and declaration. This is one of the most important point. So we can create parent class reference with child class object here. So I created child class reference, child class object. Instead of that, I can create parent class reference also. Parent class reference, child class object. But you can access only parent class properties. Either it may be method or variable, but you can't access child class objects. Child class methods and child class variables. So anyway, M1 is from parent class, and I can access a dot j or I. So I and j only visible, right? If I can call k and l, those are from child class, right? K and l. So and moreover that M2, M2 also not possible. So why? Because you are creating parent class reference. With parent class reference, you can access only parent class properties, but not child class properties. This is the one important point you need to remember. And moreover that child class reference parent class object is not possible. So if I can create child class reference parent class object, this is not possible. So that is nothing but type reference and declaration. Parent class reference child class object is possible, but parent class object child class reference is not possible. So inheritance is applicable, not applicable for final classes. So if I can make class is final, inheritance is not applicable. So if I can make class A is final class, so I will get compilation error at line number 14. Why? Because type B cannot subclass of final class A. So we can prevent inheritance by using final keyword. If we can make class as a final, inheritance is not possible. So this is also one of the most important point. And moreover that we can't extend more than one class in Java. So that is nothing but multiple inheritance. In Java, one class can extend one class only. More than one class extension is not possible. If I can make one more class A along with B, I will get compilation error. This is nothing but multiple inheritance in Java. And moreover that we can call it as a diamond problem. So multiple inheritance is not applicable in Java. So anyway, I already explained just now. And we can't override final methods. So if a class is final class, inheritance is not applicable. If a method is final method, overriding is not possible. Now let me try to make that M1 is final. Before that, let me show you that functionality, overridden functionality. Then I will make as a final. So first I am trying to override that m1 method that exists a inside a I am trying to override in B. So m1 method logic is class a m1 some simple logic, assert statement. So I want to override that implementation, so with some extra info. So depending on my requirement, if the implementation is not satisfied with parent class implementation, we can override that implementation depending on requirement. Class A m1 method m1 overridden. Now implementation is somewhat I changed anyway some message, but here only I wrote sysout statement, but in real time, so more than one line will be there. If parent class implementation is not good and not required, you can override that implementation in child classes. Now let me try to call, create the object. Now try to call that m1 method. So I will get the result like B class m1 method. So class A m1 method override in class B. So I got the output, updated output in class B. So this is the output. So now let me try to make this method as a final. So I will get compilation error like, so final method is, override is not possible. Cannot override the final method from class A. So this is nothing but final methods inheritance is not possible. So this is also one of the important point you need to remember when you are working with inheritance. And moreover that implementing the serializable interface in superclass. So your superclass implements serializable, but by default child class automatically serialized. So serializable is an interface, right? If I can implement serializable in class A, implements serializable. So now class A is serialized by default. All a child classes also serializable. So that is nothing but last point you need to remember. So parent class is serializable, child class automatically serialized. So this is the last point about inheritance. So I hope you got some important points about inheritance in this video. So if you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe programming KT. Thanks for watching.